Ridge Racer. Welcome
That's good.
to the Hat Chat Podcast, episode 59. I'm Chris Trott.
Yeah. I'm Ross Hornby.
And I'm Alex Smith.
No,
What?
you're not. No, that's absolutely not true.
Say that
What
again.
did you say?
You're what?
Alex Smith.
Eric.
Oh, for God's sake. You sound like a 7-year-old.
That's what people say. They find Alex. I remember finding certain sounds really hard, like la, ala. It's quite hard. Me as a kid, nightmare. No, I never called myself Alex. No, that was thankfully nothing I had a problem with. But I do remember finding certain things hard to pronounce.
Okay.
Well,
thanks, Eric, for
Eric,
that.
you're welcome.
First
Who did
up,
that jingle there?
oh,
The
yeah,
Fingal,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. Ed Hodge, thank you kindly for being our Fingelmeister for today. I don't know if that's a good word. Probably shouldn't use
Cheers, Roger.
Fingelmeister.
What,
Probably not.
Fingelmeister? Why not? Fingelmeister could work.
There's a much longer version at the end, so you can really choose
Right.
and customize your car and pick which license you want to take your car out on whilst listening to that music. All I think
Does
of is
sound very video game, doesn't it?
yeah, it's great.
Classic 90s games.
Apologies
I
if
guess
you're
2000s.
hearing fan noises in the background today. We are currently going through a heat wave in the UK, and we're all blasting some fans. So apologies. I hope you can all tolerate that. Yeah. What are we up to today?
Have you all melted yet? We haven't melted yet. It's almost over. It's finally
No.
almost broken.
I think
God,
this
it's
is
so
the last day of the
hot.
extreme weather.
Yeah.
We say
Extreme
extreme.
for us.
It's extreme for the UK, okay? Everything's relative.
Yeah.
I know we're probably going to get some emails and stuff or some comments that 31 is nothing.
50-degree weather? Yeah, I mean, it is worse in other countries, but it's hot here. We don't like it. Damn it.
Yeah, we aren't used to it. And the body actually adapts to your climate. So if you're born and raised in a certain climate, your body is used to that climate.
How long does that take normally? Because when I'm on holiday, I'm a sweaty mess from...
Probably longer than a
Drought.
week or two, Ross, I imagine.
Right,
I think you'd have to live there for quite some time, and even then, I think people do struggle if they stay out there for an extended period. So it's very common. Anyway, just give us that, okay? Just be empathetic. Thank you. It's really hot.
come on.
It's really hot.
hot boys.
Today, I'd like to remind everyone that we're doing these weekly. So I hope you haven't missed any so far, because we've been bashing them out every week. Our patron has been lovingly receiving them ad-free. So if you want to support us on Patreon, like our wonderful patrons, then head over there and you won't have any interruptions. With that said, I think it's time for them to reveal what they voted as our first hypothetical of this week.
Ooh. Okay.
Alex Smith, I will give you the honors if you have the question there to read out.
Cut the ribbon. Cut it.
Cut the ribbon.
Bing bang bong. Our first Patreon hypothetical this week is the question: what futuristic thing from a sci-fi movie or book do you really wish existed now?
Now, I will say that the polls were very, very close this week with the questions I picked out of our long list. So these first and second ones are actually really close together. Anyway, what immediately springs to mind without much thought?
Was it the Time Turner I was thinking of? It was time, either that or a device for time travel. And obviously there's so many various different forms that comes in sci-fi films and books. I'm not sure which device would be best. Maybe, the Time Turner, is that from Harry Potter? Is that where she uses the little Time Turner so she can study more and learn?
Which technically is a fantasy book and not a sci-fi book.
Oh, right. Okay. My mistake. Jesus.
What's
Bernard's
watch? Sci-fi
then?
movie or book?
What's Bernard's watch? Is that sci-fi or is
it a
that
sci-fi show? That's
fantasy?
an interesting question. Yeah.
I'd say that if you had to choose one, it would probably fall under sci-fi. Yeah.
Right. What's Doctor Who's little stick do? What does that do?
I think that's a probe stick,
the automatic plot fixer.
That's just a.
What do they call it? A Deus Ex Machina or something?
I'm not sure.
That's what Deus. Yeah. So Deus Ex Machina, I believe, is taken from old Greek or Roman plays or something where they would roll the next plot element in, and it would be like somebody would appear from the stage and be like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm the god of saving you." It was a plot device, as far as I'm aware. Let me have a look.
I see.
Came from.
Another thing I would think of would be the
Sounds like
Star
you're avoiding
Trek
the question.
teleporter, the teleporter from Star Trek, where they just immediately
I went straight to
transport
Star
down to a
Trek as
planet.
well. I don't know why. Because
That's
I don't
pretty
really,
nuts.
I don't watch it. but-
Teleportation is incredibly useful, although it's seemingly super dangerous. I mean, the balls you'd need to get into a machine that literally deconstructs your matter and reconstructs it somewhere else. I'm not exactly sure what the obviously not the made up science, but the actual science is behind teleporters in Star Trek.
Because, no, I think it's called something specific. It's called prestiging.
Prestiging.
Yes.
What, duplicating a person?
Well, you basically duplicate on the other side, print it out,
and the original copy is
deleted.
Destroyed.
The original copy is destroyed instantaneously.
Smart.
So, AKA prestiging.
I like it. That
really good film, by the way. Watch The Prestige. Don't go any further into it. It's a good film if you haven't seen it.
Have you only recently
I thought you were
watched
talking about COD.
I saw it ages ago, but I think it's a really good film. But it's one of those films where you can't really watch it many times because once you know, you know. But
well, I think there's a lot of detail though. Like the second watch is interesting, knowing the result. You can pick up on all the little hints and stuff throughout. Anyway, my sci-fi thing would be the Mass Effect relay.
Okay,
that would be pretty cool. It's essentially the same thing from Mass Effect, right? You know that big thing that catapults ships from like one galaxy to another? That essentially just enables us to travel really far distances. And obviously with the Mass Effect relay comes the fact that there was an alien life form that made it and a galactic civilization. I just love the idea of us just stumbling into, oh, yeah, no, we're already established here. Welcome. Here's all the awesome technology to get you up to speed. Here's how to fix climate change and all that. And do you want to go on the Mass Effect relay? Here you go. Here's a spaceship. We've already made it for you. So that sounds nice to me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that would be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, the specific sci-fi thing, probably just with my lightsaber.
Lightsaber would be cool.
Yeah.
I'd be terrified to wield one, but I'd like to see one.
Yeah, same.
Wielded by an expert.
I feel like
it just end up being used in like a kebab shop or something.
I think it would be used in like construction or like it would be used in the most mundane way you could imagine. You know, it'll be literally, used for digging tunnels or
heat element,
cutting down stuff. So who knows? But
hot? Are they meant to be hot?
Well, I don't know if they are
hot, but
kind
of. Well, in the scene
they have them very close to their faces, don't they?
Where Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi are breaking into the final blast door to get to the juicy core of the Trade Federation ships. Remember that? And they it's in the first film in the Phantom Menace when they plunge
out the hole, right?
Plunge his sword into the door. I don't know to cut out the mechanism. Yeah. And it gets very hot. But it does seem like there's pretty much nothing they can't do. So I do love a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Lightsaber's good.
I feel like we're still touching on things sci-fi wise that are things that have always been things. Like I imagine even like 200 years ago. It's not changed, is what I'm saying. It's always the same thing. It's like teleportation or like space travel or something like that.
Yeah.
I feel like all the other small things that Star Trek had, like, the little intercom thing on the pin. We've achieved that essentially. Yeah. The tablet in your hand. We've achieved that. Yep. I feel like, are we running out of sci-fi stuff? Do we need a new TV
I don't know,
series?
I mean, when you consider things like, I guess Black Mirror is kind of sci-fi as well, right? So, like, there's a load of stuff in that. But then when you watch Black Mirror, you kind of then think, I don't actually want that. I don't want to have a chip in my brain that records everything.
Yeah.
But then some people would find that really useful, and maybe that is a good thing for some people. But it's hard to say, isn't it? Hard to say what would be good. I think that
I always think about how personal air transport is going to change a lot of things, like the ability to say we all had like effectively a quadcopter,
drone carriers,
that carries us around. Because first of all, this is gonna happen. I think one day we're gonna go, God, it's so weird that we used like little like the roads all the time in between all our houses. How crazy! We can just fly go up 100 feet and then a straight line that way, and we'll get to that place in a couple of minutes. How weird will that be? Equally, houses and where people buy houses will completely change, because you'll be able to buy a house on the side of a hill somewhere and commute to work in 30 minutes.
And with
I do think that this is going to be a very interesting. I mean, so other brands are available, Trott, but Starlink is currently allowing people to
Don't go buying Starlink just based on what I just said. There's other
because
failing
satellite internet's been around for a long time. Like
I know,
lots of people in rural communities use satellite internet. Yeah, it is shit and expensive.
So I'm hoping other competitive ones rise up and then clutter our skies.
Yeah, right. Then lock us in our planet because we can't escape because of all the sky clutter.
Oh,
but no, I do think personal air transport is probably one of the biggest ones that could happen.
It would have to be automated, right?
It's within reach, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think another interesting thing would be to be able to take your consciousness and store it somewhere, or keep hold of it, or store your memories, I guess. If you were like, because if there was, I don't know, if you had a degenerative disease or something, and you were like, well, it'd be nice to actually not lose my mind and actually be able to store that in some way.
Not only store it, defrag it, repair it, fix it up. Yeah.
Nice. And obviously there are elements of that in, I don't, well, again, is that fantasy? I'm trying to think of a specific
altered carbon.
Yeah, like the thing in the back of your neck, which is you, essentially.
Yeah.
And you just get put into a new shell, essentially. But this does raise that question, though, that paradox of, is it you? Is it truly you? If you're a copy, how does your consciousness become the data that's been stored in this thing? Are you aware that you're going to wake up there? Or
I guess it depends on how you're going to use it, or how because obviously if it was a case of more of I want to just be able to refer to things and I've got it all there,
it's like an external hard drive,
like you can access your PC now. You can grab a file and be like, oh, that's it, put your video back. So if you'd be like, again, this is basically that thing in Black Mirror, right?
Yeah.
But if there was a way to be like, oh, that was a really good day, I'm going to store that, bam.
Oh, like
again, I think there's something in Harry Potter like that as well, which he stores in his little balls, and Snape has them in a little pool.
It'd be cool to record
again, I know that's
stuff.
fantasy.
Black Mirror, I think, doesn't take it far enough with the whole recording thing, because essentially it's like a show, right? It's like a 2D image recording from your eyes. Yeah. I'd like it to be a full immersive experience, like VR. So you record it, and then you get to walk amongst the memory again, pause it, rewind it, smell the stuff that you could smell. Like it records everything using all your sensory data, not just a 2D image. They weren't going far enough, I think.
I think so.
Maybe they didn't have the budget.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's the recording function, I guess, is being able to record that space with your own eyes. Like, if that's possible, then sure, if they could
and then
be part of it.
Being able to sell it
cyberpunk
as well.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine being able to sell experiences like that. So say you were able to more profoundly download and upload feelings and experiences, and you could literally just give that to somebody else and they could spend 20 minutes just like jumping out of a plane without having to jump out of a plane.
But why would the first thing that used it be porn? You can use the first
certainly going to be there.
Breakthrough would be like, hey, look, now you can just be with all those porn stars. It's like, what? Oh, okay, that's the first.
I guess you're tied into like that person experiencing it, right? It's like a pre-recording of, you're not actually changing anything there. You're just experiencing it and walking around it. Unless they find a way to make it interactive and you can manipulate it within the constraints of the memory. That would be interesting.
Well, we can't. So, I mean, there's almost certainly a way to tap into the mechanism that allows us to dream, frankly. I mean, like, whatever allows us to dream so vividly is clearly something that we would be able to manipulate to one day, I suppose. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of
Inception style. Manipulation.
Yeah, like
and things are crafted on the fly.
Our own ability to imagine sensory inputs and outputs like we do in dreaming, which feels real. I see no reason why one day we wouldn't be able to work out how to control that process and therefore create extremely realistic experiences in our own heads.
We're looking at it from too much of an analog software, kind of like we need to like re-render stuff, when in actuality your brain can be the processor and fill in the blanks. Shit.
I remember thinking about like things like the Matrix, where you could just learn anything in a second. That kind of like the idea of that being like, oh, now I know Kung Fu, now I know this, and then you go into this space that doesn't feel virtual because it just feels like your world. Like that would be like amazing. So like effortless,
like
kind of
like meat,
knowledge at the fingertips. You can just be like, yep, I want that. I can, get all these guns here at this time, do all this stuff. It's just that's quite an interesting idea. But
again, it goes Black Mirror because it's like
it's very Black Mirror.
Meat sacks just wanting to be in their perfect environment, eating the best food every day.
Fed
and not getting any bigger because you're not actually eating anything for sustenance. You just got pipes and stuff going into your real biological body, just feeding you nutrients, keeping you alive.
There was something appealing about that. I think there's something appealing about that kind of just, if you know, you're like, well, shit, I can do anything. You know, once Neo knew, he was just like, you know, a machine. He could just dodge bullets and stuff. And but all the other plebs are stuck in the machine. They're just...
Is it like playing Minecraft when you just turn on creative mode and everything becomes a bit more boring because, I can do anything.
In a way.
I've lost like the purpose of stuff because I'm not working for anything anymore. I can just fly wherever I want. I can beat up people. I can jump off stuff. I guess you'd get bored after a while, right?
On a mental level, I imagine it would. Yeah, it wouldn't be as fantastical as it seems because you are then like, well, what is the point to anything? Because, you know, that's why I guess you wanted to be in the real world more, even though it was really shitty and horribly run by robots and stuff.
I think that the technology is not the limit. It's our biological brain which handles it, the tech. It's like, I don't think we'd physically, psychologically be able to cope with such creative freedom. Whereas our physical bodies are tied to our evolution and where we are and have adapted to this existence rather than the ability to do anything and be a god.
Literally,
might go insane.
I think they I don't know whether they covered it in the films, but I mean this might just be random. I might have made this up, but they were gonna talk about how human beings were used as essentially like a computer or a processing or a power source or something like that by the machines, and that's why the machines kept them alive. But they didn't bother addressing it in the films because they felt like it was just like a level of detail that wasn't really necessary. But like there was a reason
grow them and then harvest them.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
There was something to do with the harvesting.
We created them as well, and then they took over as like a Skynet kind of scenario.
Yeah.
So it's happening now with Tesla. I'm sure Tesla will one day. We'll sit there, you'll be inside the car, and then obviously it's self-driving, and you'll just be this little blob eventually.
You can feel the seat trying to squish you down slowly. It's like, what are you trying to do? Stop trying to put me in the battery compartment. Stop it. Stop trying to plug me in. God damn it, I'm just trying to drive. Get my Starbucks.
So here it is. So the Matrix, each pod containing a human battery generates bioelectric energy and neural processing power that collectively and combined with nuclear fusion is used by the machines for power.
So their brain processing is necessary in some way.
Something like that. And they also didn't want to kill them, apparently. The machines didn't want to kill human beings.
Well, like you say, if they're dead, they can't do any of that brain activity, which I assume is a energy they can harvest.
Yeah,
I don't want that feature.
The robots only got annoyed when people were outside of the Matrix, so that I guess they could mess stuff up. So they're just like, well,
it ruins the whole illusion, doesn't it?
Tentacle drone things,
And then you suddenly have that place with Morpheus. What was that place that they all like tried to do a rebellion?
Oh man,
like crappy little underground.
What's it called? Yeah,
town or something.
It's like the core
Zion.
of it. I can't remember. Zion.
Yeah. Thank you.
And they all have those crazy underground parties.
Yeah, they're just going insane. Just like, I mean, I guess you would if you just realized that all of humanity is over and we're being harvested by big spiders, robot spiders. Holy crap. Anyway.
What about, just a quick one, the portal gun? That would be cool.
That would be interesting.
How cool would a portal gun be in real life? That would be amazing. Because I guess that covers the teleportation thing to a degree. If someone was like, all right, I've got a portal gun, I'm going to just do the orange one here, and you do a blue one here, bam, you're in, you're through.
Holy
I think
shit,
anything
that
that speeds up those mundane parts of people's lives today, just of sitting in traffic or whatever, or trying to get somewhere fast without actually ruining the planet, that would be pretty cool.
It would be awesome. But then again, would that change our perception of value in a way? Because like if you could instantly just go to Bora Bora and not experience like that feeling of going all the way around the planet, it would feel like a tiny world, wouldn't it?
Obviously, it depends on the cost of using such a device. I have no obviously there would always be a cost to it, right? But either way, I mean, I'm sure it's more of a time thing. We'd get time back, right? That's time we haven't spent 10 hours on a flight somewhere or whatever. So, who knows? We could be more progressive as a society. Who knows?
You could attend more meetings. Perfect.
Just think of the people that had to spend months crossing oceans to get anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I always think
suddenly explore the depths of the ocean.
Oh yeah, just pull it right down there.
Suddenly just. No,
crushed.
you'd probably die immediately.
You would.
Immediately
You'd have
crushed
to
from the
build
pressure.
a vacuum down there, a vacuum sealed dome. I've got a quick thought experiment before we go on our little break. This is not a quick one at all, but it just reminded me of it when you like said the portal gun. Because imagine like firing it and it eventually hits the surface, and then you could instantly walk through that. So
Fire at the sun.
when you look out into the stars in the sky, right, you're essentially looking back in time because of the way light travels, and it takes time for it to reach us. What if there was a huge mirror out in space, really far away, and then looking in that mirror, you could see, if you had a telescope, looking at that mirror, you'd see dinosaurs on Earth, because you're looking back at time. You could position it a certain distance away to look back at our own history. How crazy is that concept? It's like I guess it depends on how fast that device travels. If it travels faster than it, I guess it would have to capturing the light, right? By
faster.
Looking at it, by observing it through a telescope, we're seeing that light hitting us from that mirror from millions of years ago, essentially. And if you position
in order to place the
it would
mirror
already have to exist.
Well, yeah, or you'd have to move faster than light, which currently is impossible.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that would work.
It's already out there, and we're just like, oh shit, that's a mirror planet. We can see our own dinosaurs.
It's just a mirror ball.
But we would never, because say we saw, let's say for example, there's a mirror planet like you're suggesting, bloody 100 million light years away or something like that. So we can look at it, and then the light. But the thing is, the light from our planet, or somehow the image of our Earth, as you're suggesting, is being reflected in this mirror. The mirror would also need to send the light back to us on Earth to see. So it would have to be in this sweet spot where the dinosaurs had existed on the planet, and the reflection of that had traveled all the way to this mirror 100 million light years away. And then that information will then have to reflect back to us, which would take another 100 million years. So like 100 million light years. Like
basically, yeah.
Yeah, you'd have, if you found a halfway point and got the whole period, like if we were right in the middle of the time period, you might see some dinosaurs on this mirror planet.
Well, dinosaurs are around for longer than humanity. Like we exist for like 1% of Earth's existence, less than 1% of Earth's existence. So it's more likely we're going to find some dinosaurs than we are humans, or like go back to Roman times or whatever. But I just found that an interesting experiment. Assume that that we found a mirror that's at that sweet spot. How cool would that be to just be like observing our planet from millions of years ago?
That'd be very Stellaris.
You could always hop in a TARDIS, set the portal gun in a specific place, and then travel back. Set the orange one. Bam! You've then got a little door that goes back.
Yeah, perfect.
Or you could use the TARDIS because you've got it. So
yeah, amazing. There we go. Thanks, Doctor Who, fixing all our problems with your sonic screwdriver. And your
it's
TARDIS.
A really great show, honestly, guys. Spend a lot of time watching that one.
Not as great as this ad break coming up. So here we go.
Oh, wow.
See you on the other side. Wow, wasn't that an experience?
Yeah, I love ads.
An even better experience for those that don't need ads. On our Patreon, for example. Thank you, Patreon supporters, for being on our Patreon and receiving it free.
Thank you.
Wow. I hope you bought all the products. Anyway. Let's move on, shall we? Do we have any funny news, or this week have you seen anything or observed anything?
Well, obviously the Olympics is starting soon. There was I keep seeing this, and this just came up last Olympics as well, about the condoms. I don't know if you heard about this.
No.
About the fact that they hand out like a shit tons of, like, thousands of condoms to the athletes.
To the athletes, right?
Yeah, to the athletes, just to promote safe sex, etc. But this article I found says that they've been handing them out, but then they're warning people not to use them at all, obviously because of COVID. So it's let me see what this says. So look but don't touch rule is what the organisers have said, which seems very odd. Why give them the condoms at all? I don't know why they can't even get their own condoms. But they ordered 160,000 condoms to be handed out the Olympic Village. But because of COVID-19, Tokyo organisers want participants to refrain from any kind of intimate physical activity outside their sport. That means those condoms we gave you, don't use them. At least not while you're inside the Olympic bubble, they're calling it.
Right.
but it's basically to raise awareness about HIV and AIDS and stuff. So essentially, it's got a good message behind it. But it just seems odd to just be like, why is this always a thing? 160,000 condoms. Why can't they all practice safe sex? I don't know why someone has to go around handing them condoms. Someone to your house and just go, there's a load of them. Just practice safe sex. Go on.
It's an interesting situation, right? Because you're getting essentially like the peak of humanity from all different parts of the world, all seeing each other in close proximity, and they're all fans of being fit and healthy, and they're seeing loads of other people that are equally minded, very driven, very motivated. You're literally like filtering down your Tinder approvals to like, these are all the perfect match for me. So, and I imagine they're all very young at like their peak fitness as well. So I can see how that happens.
That's an advertisement for becoming an athlete, ladies and gentlemen.
If you enjoy that sort of thing, you strive for fit perfection, then become an athlete, an Olympic athlete. Simple. Yeah.
Because there were rumors, because basically they've all been given like these small like cardboard framed beds, and people were saying that was to prevent them from having sex, and the bed would like collapse and stuff, which is apparently a complete lie. It's literally just a case of they can get rid of the beds easy. It's cheap, and they can recycle it. And it kind of makes sense. So on that side of things, it's great. But very odd that people thought that would prevent athletes from being able to have sex. Like,
imagine the night before
you have to do it in a cardboard bed.
Well, imagine the night before having to do like a pole vault. You're sleeping on a cardboard bed. It's like, my joints are achy.
A small mattress, but it's not ideal, is it?
Christ, I miss my memory foam mattress at home, which I've been sleeping on.
Yeah, right.
Jeez.
I mean, they're meant to be adults, right?
Yes.
I guess. But then,
the average age of an Olympian.
People that have had to do nothing but sport probably their entire lives as well. So I don't know. Who knows how worldly they are?
What's weird, because this Olympics is going to be a bit of a mess because of the COVID situation. There's loads of people dropping out left, right, and center. So I don't know how, I don't know what that means really, because obviously there's a lot of people there who could be setting records and stuff and could be competing, but people have to drop out because of the
contacts mainly. Illness. Like I saw that one of the British athletes had to drop out simply because they'd had contact with somebody who had tested positive.
Right.
And that
sucks.
That was it. Like they didn't have a positive test themselves, but they were like, right, we've tested this one person, you've had a contact, you're going to isolate, and they had to drop out their event. But
man,
it's sad because obviously these people, their entire lives revolve around these things.
This is it. This is their purpose.
You want them to, feel
worthwhile. And so much will change in 4 years as well. Is it 4 years? Is it every 4 years?
Yeah, 4 years, I think.
Yeah, I mean, physically a lot can change in that period of time. So you might not be at your best, which it's pretty shit.
I imagine
not to mention all the civic work that Japan's had to do, all that building and all the stuff they build for these Olympics is a big deal, and you don't want it to go to waste.
That's why they're pushing it, because obviously they've been told they shouldn't really post it at all. But
that's probably why they hit their initial cases as well, because they're trying to get it to go ahead. Did. Yeah, do you remember when they were hiding the data and under-reporting COVID? A lot of countries were doing it, but they were really under-reporting their cases, because it's if we start saying that there's a breakout here, no one's going to come to the Olympics. But apparently, I was just looking at a website. The average age of an Olympian, split by gender, men 26 and a bit, so 26 years old, and women 25 and a bit. So they're actually older than I thought. I thought they'd be
I thought
18,
they'd be early
19,
20s. Yeah,
but they should know better and bring their own condoms. Is what I'm saying.
But I guess it's a good thing that they're being handed them, just in case.
Yeah. Amazing.
I mean, there are more stories. I've got a story about some retired prostitutes here, if that's of interest. Amsterdam prostitute twins retire at 70 after 50 years, and 355,000 men.
Oh, they counted.
That's a lot.
I don't know how they've counted, whether they have. I mean, you'd think you'd lose count.
No, they had good bookkeeping.
Yeah, they were pretty quick on the books there. But they're finding here we go. Louise and Martine Falkens, both 70. So they're
they
finding
changed their surname.
I don't know, but it really works, doesn't it? I'm finding it a painful struggle to go on working in Amsterdam's notorious red light zone. They claim to be the oldest prostitutes in the Dutch city, and last year starred in a documentary film named Meet the Fokkens, which I'm sure you can watch in your own leisure. Mother of four, Louise admitted, though, that her arthritis means some positions are now too painful. While mother of three, Martine, complained about a drop in custom. Only one elderly man addicted to his weekly S&M sessions remains regular, she said. So she's still cracking on. That's pretty good at 70.
I like this quote coming up.
All right.
It's the next sentence.
I couldn't give him up. He's been coming to me for so long. It's like going to church on a Sunday. Thanks, Martine, for that.
Or like coming on.
Oh yeah. So yeah, there you go. That's a little story about it, and that's all that article is literally just saying that these two 70-year-olds are retiring.
They only have
if you're upset
one.
about that, you missed your chance. 50 years you had.
I'm surprised there's only one regular that comes to them.
Well, yeah. You'd think there would be. I mean, maybe they're going to get more
the internet
requests now.
It makes it seem like lots more people are into certain kinks than I imagine people are willing to actually pursue in real life. They're willing to, like, you know, that morbid curiosity of like going into a weird place on Pornhub or wherever and looking up some strange category and having some regret afterwards, versus actively seeking it out on the red light district of like, oh, you know, I'm like an 18-year-old lad and I'm really into 70-year-olds, especially twins.
Gosh, yeah, 18.
And now he can't get it because,
God.
they've retired. Arthritis kicks in.
A lot of people are sad about that.
That's a real shame.
I mean, I reckon that, if there's enough requests, maybe they'll come back. They've probably got another 15, 20 years.
For like a
reunion.
Tour.
A glory tour, yeah.
We go around and see every single one of our past customers.
Yeah.
I'll be there for you.
Most of them aren't around anymore.
Most of them aren't. All right. God.
God.
That's a long time.
Well, I mean, jeez. That's
did
a long
they
career.
work together, or were they just in the same place?
You asked the question.
So.
I wonder if there are requests to have both at the same time, or I don't know, but maybe they did at some point. But the twin thing is always quite a weird thing. I don't know why people want to basically be in a kind of an incest triangle.
Yeah,
no?
I mean, it clearly happens.
I mean, it's a fantasy. You don't tend to apply logic to them as much.
It's that doing the taboo thing, isn't it? That's appealing.
Fantasy until it's a reality.
Yeah, I think most people faced with the reality of it, like you say, there's only one reoccurring patron there that visits them. I think most people have that realization of like, actually no, it's just I was just in the moment and just felt like, oh, this is naughty. Yeah. Versus,
I was just on the stag do, and I saw her in the window and I was like, wow, look at that silver hair. I've got to get in there. Let me in.
Bang, bang, bang. Hello, I'm lonely.
I didn't book a hotel. I need somewhere to stay too.
You got to bed.
I'm just tired. We don't have to just cuddle if you want.
We could just, honestly, please. 70. Oh, actually, that's my kink.
That's quite a common thing, right? With the Louis Theroux documentary in particular, revealing it that most people just want comfort and just like someone to just confide in and have that personal attachment to.
Essentially, I think, it's a.
I mean, that's like human beings, isn't it?
It's a little sad because it's like I'm just lonely. I have to resort to a sex worker to get my sort of close connection with the person I'm interested in, or the gender I'm interested in.
I suppose so. Sad.
But hey, if you wanted that personal connection with a 70-year-old with their twin, no longer available.
No, they are retired. They have gone. They are no longer in action.
My sci-fi technology would be a button to remove arthritis.
We really just sort of arthritis.
Don't worry, we fixed it. You can go back to work.
Why did this guy invest so heavily in arthritis cures? Could have fixed so many more things with this technology. Just the arthritis for me. Now where are those twins?
I've got a reason. I've got a mission.
They're my inspiration, my muse. And he's just got a picture of him up on the wall as he's in his lab.
No, I don't know. I don't need reverse aging. I just want the arthritis gone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god! Holy shit!
Yeah, that's the funny-ish kind of just.
I mean,
things I saw.
It was a little on the depressing side, I guess.
Or sad, I guess. It's sad because they're retiring. It's
They had
sad.
a long, fruitful career.
Yeah. It's the
Fair play to
355,000. That number is striking, isn't it? When you see that number, you're like, wow. That's,
So how
But then
long
you
were
think,
they
wow,
active?
that's probably quite a good sum of cash if you think
How long
about
were
it.
they? So let's assume
50 years. 50 years.
50, 300,000, right? 350,000 divided by 50.
Quick math.
That's 7,000 people a year. Divide that by 12, 583 people a month.
A month.
No.
I'd imagine it's quite front loaded though in terms of amount of custom.
That's crazy.
As the age does creep
so.
up, I imagine it might have, yeah. So
That's
the 7,000 there, I
insane.
don't think they would keep that up for 50
That's
years.
20 people a day
Or a year.
on average.
Is it, wait, what?
No, it can't be
people a
right. Have I
day?
done my math wrong?
Well, I mean, is that, wait, is
Yeah,
that,
no,
right?
19.45 people a day. Yeah, almost.
That can't
Feels
be
like a lot,
right.
doesn't it?
I feel like they've overestimated their
I
amount.
think it's mixed. I think it's shared between the two. It must be
That's still 8
So more
people
like
a
10.
day.
8 people a day, which I think
It's
is
10. Yeah.
possible. I mean, do you think you can crack 8?
They must have done a ton of orgies, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Swing of pies.
That's not necessarily that could be anything. That could be anything from the flick of a nipple to
Quick in out.
full sex.
I've got 15 more people to get through. Could you just quickly flick the
just
nipple
flick
and
my
get
This
out?
guy just wants me to
Get
flick
up
his
with it.
nipples for 20 minutes. Okay.
Right, form a
Alright, here we
cue.
go.
All right, you get the left breast. You get the right.
Yeah.
Flick and go. Flick and go.
I think that counts. I think that counts as an act. So,
That would have to be the most used thing that they do on a daily basis for them to maintain like 20 people a day or 10 people a day. That's insane. No wonder they got arthritis. Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Christ.
Yeah.
That's a lot of mattresses.
You think
as
they'd
well.
be quite physically fit as well, throughout all that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you reckon they use cardboard beds?
Probably not.
No.
I don't think they
Then you can
dispose.
just chuck them away after.
permanent.
They're reusable.
Yeah.
They don't bother you with cardboard beds. They just get out a bin bag, cut the bin bag in half, lay out on the floor. There you go. Oh, Jesus.
Simple.
They don't have the time. They've got people to get
This
to.
is
They don't have time to
lo-fi.
replace their bed. They must be pretty. I guess maybe their rates are pretty good.
Well, are you interested? Maybe you should email them.
No, they're retired. I can't.
Well, maybe you can coax them out of retirement, Trot.
Come on.
Send a photo.
One final one. I'll make a documentary. Like Louis through. It'd be
Called-
very awkward.
What was the sequel to Meet the Fockers?
Meet the Fockers
Meet the
again.
Fockers.
Oh, no, wait. That was the
No.
sequel to Meet the Parents, wasn't it?
There was Meet the
Yeah.
Parents, Meet the Fockers, and then there was like,
Little Fockers?
Little Fockers. Yeah, I think it might have
That
been.
one?
'Cause they had kids, and then and I think they then exhausted the Fockers franchise.
Yeah. Yeah. That. I never
mean,
watched any
it
of
was
them. I will
alright.
say.
Serious. Yeah. You didn't. I don't think you missed out, Trot. To be honest.
No, I
Not
mean
really.
I miss out on a
Yeah.
lot of films and TV shows, but that one is one that I don't regret not seeing. But I will probably indulge in this spin-off version.
Yeah.
These twins.
Oh, there's actually another story here which
Go on.
I forgot I added this a few weeks ago, but it's quite interesting. It's the headline is China's Tencent turns to facial recognition to root out late-night child gamers. So they've
Interesting.
Chinese tech giant Tencent has rolled out a facial recognition midnight patrol function to snag children masquerading as adults to get around a government curfew on underage gamers.
This
China
is-
bans people under 18 from playing online games between 10 p.m. and 8 a.m. Part of a raft of rules introduced to weed out the excesses of gaming culture among the youth.
How is this
From
integrated?
worsening eyesight to online addiction. But many young players have navigated the restrictions by using gaming accounts registered by adults. Online gaming giant Tencent this week moved to close the loopholes by implementing facial verification checks on anyone
That's
playing with an adult
crazy.
ID after curfew. Well, like they have like loads of CCTV basically tracking where they are at all times in certain cities. I'm not sure if it's across China, but I think
Yeah,
that's
I
technology.
think it largely is, yeah. I mean,
this-
it is,
So
I'd be
you
very
can actually
surprised.
pay for things at vending machines with it, right? So you can just look up a camera and that pays for it off your account. You're then basically logged into a
Yeah,
system.
I mean, you can do that. We do that with Apple Pay, don't we? We're
Sure.
using our face to verify a payment each time.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
they're
So
saying here is Tencent
Yeah.
is this massive company, right, that have bought out loads of companies in the Western world. And
Yeah.
what it's saying to me here is they have that technology to implement into any device that has, that technology in it. And that's kind of scary. And also, how do you know? What if someone has just a really youthful face? You just get blocked from
I think
gaming.
it must just be tracked to an account, right? So, if your face matches an account, then maybe you just put a mask on when you're about to game. That's, I guess, the other solution.
That's actually a really
if
good
it
shout.
tracks it the way that
Yeah.
iPhones do, then maybe it doesn't work because it needs 3D.
Just put a sticker over the camera.
All right.
Yeah,
It feels
I
like one of these
imagine when they
steps
log
that
in.
they've taken for like, oh, that's good that they're doing that. But in reality, the implementation of it is just like almost impossible.
It's showing that they're publicly willing to share that they have that technology. What are they not willing to share? Basically, what are they doing behind the scenes? With that data.
There are a few interesting documentaries about how they track people in China. It's quite interesting on YouTube as well.
Terrifying, I imagine.
Check it out. But it is interesting how, like, even if you jaywalk and stuff, they have like
oh my god,
screens that come up with your face, and they like kind of try to publicly shame you for like committing small crimes.
Really?
And stuff. That was considered as an
just
offense.
living in fear.
You
like
say, "Oh,
that.
my face." But the thing is, like, would you like? It depends on whether you actually were fined or like imprisoned for like jaywalking. If you were just like, "Oh, look, my face is up there because I just walked on the road for like a second," if anything, more people would probably think it was quite a funny thing. But oh, look, there I am, but then maybe that's just British humor. I don't know.
What is that
No,
classic
really
dystopic
there,
movie that we did in film theory at uni?
1984.
The Orwellian kind of
1984.
Yeah, I think it's that. This feels like that. Whereas
It
this
is,
overruling technology that's just like forcing people to walk in lines and like conform and not have emotion, and it's like Equilibrium but without the gun cutter.
Yeah, because I mean, but that is a worry for a lot of people when it comes to like things like vaccine passports and kind of giving the government your data, and
It's a slow.
even with technology now, obviously facial recognition technology for just unlocking your phone is really useful for us, but ultimately if that could spell something like this in the future, who knows?
I think
it's
it's kind of scary how you can gently manipulate a society to like slowly accept these things as the norm. And I think if you go slow
make it
enough,
convenient enough and make it kind of like appeal as if it's like something you want, you're like, it's like, you don't have to take out your wallet, you don't have to walk out with anything, your face is now your payment method. Like that is either worrying because what if somebody could somehow do a was it Minority Report where he changes the shape of his face? What if you could just get plastic surgery as some, as Jeff Bezos and just wander around, just like, I'm buying everything, just my Jeff Bezos. Obviously, you'd be screwed because you look like Jeff Bezos. But
there seems to be this the transformation's gone a bit weird, and in the top of my head, there's this like groove right in the middle, so I look like a penis.
Like a little bit like a penis,
just like that
more like a
spaceship.
billionaire in this country.
Oh, I've got this really cool cowboy hat on.
Oh, we didn't cover that he did his launch as well, because obviously Richard Branson did his launch not too long ago.
The
but
big
Jeffrey
billionaire
Bezos did his
dick
big
throwing contest.
penis, giant penis in the sky. It all went well, which I guess is
Brilliant.
why, I guess.
Let's unlock that door. For
There was
Amazon.
a part of me kind of hoping that something crazy would happen. Just
It's because we didn't get the petitions high enough on the whole leave him in space thing. We didn't get to 200,000. But as much as I admire all the technology that goes into it, it's really frustrating that that's their focus, and that it's just a big like they did it within weeks of each other, so they were clearly competing to be like the first into space.
Definitely,
and it's not really contributing much to society other than more money for those companies. Maybe
the technological development, whilst it wasn't as, it's pretty amazing that we can land rockets now. Let's hope some good things come out. I know what you're saying. I don't disagree with what you're saying. I guess the one thing you'd hope is that the technology and the people and the thinkers that come out of this process will benefit us all.
I get it. They want to go to space, and fixing the climate is not fun, but I think the priority should be elsewhere right now. If you have the money to do so and the means, people would love you way more. But I don't think he cares about people loving him. I think he just cares about his life and his lifestyle and maintaining that.
You might think he's in a simulation. I mean, who wouldn't? If you were the most powerful, rich person on the planet, you'd probably think it's pretty unreal, all of it.
He's probably surrounded by yes men anyway, and he probably gets bigged up on a daily basis of like, you're the best guy in the world. Yeah. Like, you've made it, man. You're like,
that would be so shit, though, wouldn't it? Just everyone basically groveling at your feet. That you wouldn't have any kind of genuine relationships with anyone.
No, unless you get disconnected from society, and you can see where it goes, where like you can't trust anyone. All you care about is yourself and your own ego, and sending your big dick into orbit, literally.
Yeah. God, it looks so. It was so phallic, though, wasn't it? Like, I mean, there's phallic in this. That ship.
Let me get a quick
I saw the meme like the day after, which was the Austin Powers joke of like.
I'll get that one up.
Because you know Dr. Evil's giant dick ship, or no, it was
Johnson.
Dr.
Evil. Dr. Evil.
Yeah, but what was his ship? It was like it was actually a character, or like a donut, the one that holds a donut.
Oh, it was the
shaped like a penis either way.
It was the donut guy, right? The donut boy, whatever his name is.
Yeah,
the dough boy.
But yeah, the sequence is so funny. Just like, hey, what's that up there? It looks like a giant Johnson. Have you got those reports for me? And it's a great clip.
Wieners,
wieners, get your wieners. Holy shit, that looks like a giant dick. Have you got that? Yeah, it's just, it's really, I love brilliant. That. But his giant penis was ridiculous, and I was kind of very much hoping something would go wrong, just a little bit, just so that he was a little bit shaken up, you know. So it wouldn't just at a perfect launch, just a little bit of like scare the shit out of him a little bit before he landed.
Yeah.
Well, the parachute hasn't gone out. Oh my God, fuck, I'm going to die a billionaire. Okay,
I mean, we barely got to see him, but in that window, it looked like he was gripping onto that handle for dear life, at least. Yeah.
So, well, there's a clip of them inside the ship where they were like throwing Skittles to each other. Like obviously in Zero G, he's like, "Hey, open wide," and he just throws through a skill, and then he managed to catch it. It's just like
open wide.
They were obviously in quite a small, tight,
confines.
Capsule.
They're in that top bit.
Not a lot of space. Yeah.
If you can see the visuals.
So they're just awkwardly bumping around, like, man, this is so cool. Like, and then
have they released footage of inside yet?
They have, yeah. It's just a clip of him throwing ping pong balls around and like catching skills in his mouth. Yeah, so
cute.
There you go.
Very cute, very humanizing.
So
anyway,
cute.
You know what humanizes me the most? Knowing that there's people out there willing to listen to us ramble for a good 47 minutes and 38 seconds. Nice. Thank you very much to all our supporters for listening to us on your various platforms. In particular, big thanks to our Patreon supporters who provide us with the poll answers of which hypothetical to choose. So have a look there if you want to have an influence on what we talk about next week. I'll put a new poll up with 3 new questions. If you have ideas for questions as well, feel free to email us hatchat@hat-films.com. Maybe you're the lead singer of King Crimson and or the Sun provided a fingal. Confirmed, by the way. That's very cool.
Is your dad famous?
Is your dad famous? Email us. Let us know. And also, if you have a fingal, if you're musically minded, much like our wonderful Ed Hodge today, then send a fingal in. We need some more, actually, so please send them in. Thank you. And with that, we are ending our weekly podcast, and we hope to see you all next Friday for some more Hat Chat. Take it away, Ed Hodge.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Oh, here we go.